The invitation arrived on a Wednesday, printed on thick, ebony cardstock with gleaming silver foil lettering. It announced the Whitman family's annual reunion in San Francisco. I traced the elegant script with my fingertips and felt memories of rolled eyes, biting comments, and strained smiles fled back. My name is Elena Whitman, though in the corporate world I answered to Moraine Blake. 15 years ago I was the family disappointment, the creative odd one who turned down a slot at Whitman Investments to study hotel management in Portland. A black sheep with dreams but no clear path. My phone buzzed. It was my cousin, Charlotte. I picked up. "Elena," she chirped in that saccharine tone. "You got the invite, right?" "I did," I said. "Well," she continued, "this year's gathering is very upscale. The Celestia Resort is absolutely refined, you understand." I leaned back in my penthouse office chair, gazing over the Los Angeles skyline from Blake Hospitality Group headquarters. I nearly laughed. The Celestia was my first five-star property, yet the Whitmans remained in the dark. "Are you implying I won't fit in, Charlotte?" "Oh, don't be like that," she cooed. "We'll have celebrities, tech founders, even a senator or two. You know how appearances matter." She really meant me. She couldn't risk her influential friends learning that her cousin once worked reception. "And who picked the venue?" I asked. "Obviously me," she said, puffing up. "Dad says I have a knack for luxury settings. I had to call in some serious favors to book it." I nearly choked. That favor had been a standard booking through our own site, approved personally at 40% above rate. "That must have been awkward," I said. "Well, not everyone has my pull," she gloated. "The owner, M. Blake, is reclusive, but once they heard the Whitman name, they rolled out the red carpet." "Of course," I replied, my smile tight. She added, "Maybe next year, after you move up from that boutique motel in Silver Lake." She was mocking my pilot property, the very place where I refined the innovations that made Blake Hospitality Group a disruptor in luxury lodging. "The Whitmans stopped tracking my progress years ago." "Something like that," I replied before hanging up. I leaned back, the distant hum of traffic barely audible behind double-pane windows. Memory surged. 15 years ago, I'd graduated from the University of Oregon with a hotel management degree, overflowing with ideas, but devoid of family support. "You're going to clean rooms for a living?" my father had boomed. "No Whitman ever wears a name tag." Yet I did, hauling luggage, scrubbing floors, greeting demanding guests, and training staff. I wasn't content to manage hotels, I wanted to transform them. To do that, I learned every detail from the ground up. Within 4 years, I opened my first property, a boutique stay called the Blue Lantern in Silver Lake, and it sold out every weekend. Now at 34, I own 21 high-end resorts in 5 countries. The Celestia, the site of their reunion, stands as my crowning achievement, a marriage of California coastal design and cutting-edge sustainability tech. It's won Luxury Resort of the Year twice. Yet somehow my family deemed it too grand for me. My phone buzzed again. "Julian, my assistant, reunion contract needs your signature. Shall I send it over?" I typed back with a smirk, "No need. I've got plans for this one." I opened my laptop and began tweaking details. If they thought I wasn't worthy to attend, they would soon learn what exclusion truly feels like. Every element, from lighting and music to the chef's tasting menu and the lobby signature scent, would be under my control. It was time for an unassuming spectacle. I had already built 9 hotels by then, yet they never bothered to ask questions or see beyond the old image of me. Only my younger sister, Ivy, kept in touch, unaware of how far I'd come. She called just as I was putting the finishing touches on the reunion. "Elena," she said softly, "Laura told me she asked you not to come." "I'm so sorry." I shook my head with a smile as I signed the final agreement. "Don't worry," I said. "Actually, I need a favor. Can you ensure everyone arrives precisely at 7 o'clock in the evening?" "Why?" Julian asked. "Let's just say Charlotte isn't the only one with connections at the Celestia," I replied. The next 2 weeks sped past in a blur of details. I oversaw every element, even the exact hue of the floral centerpieces. If they were going to exclude me from my own resort, I would give them a night they'd never forget. The Whitman clan demanded luxury. I was about to put on a spectacle worthy of their expectations. On the eve of the reunion, I stood alone in the Celestia's lobby. Staff polished the marble until it gleamed like a mirror. Light from crystal chandeliers danced across white stone columns, gold-trimmed moldings, and sea glass accents. Everything was immaculate. Julian appeared at my side, tablet in hand. "All arrangements are set. The new signage goes live at precisely 7:15 in the evening tomorrow." "Are you certain?" I asked. "Absolutely," he confirmed. I thought of Charlotte's smug voice, of the countless microaggressions and icy silences. Perfect, I said. After all, it's not every day I get to welcome my family to my own resort. I allowed myself a quiet smile, already picturing their reactions. Tomorrow would change everything. At precisely 6:45 the following evening, I watched security feeds from my private suite atop the tower. Guests arrived like clockwork, designer bags swinging from their arms, heels clicking across marble floors, watches flashing under chandelier light. Everyone competed in a shallow pageant of wealth. Charlotte swept in wearing scarlet Valentino, barking orders as if she ran the place. She paused by the floral arrangement, posed for a photo. Just then Julian appeared. "Everything's live," he said. "Staff know their cues." "Security on alert?" I asked. "No need," I replied. The Whitmans wouldn't dare shatter their own illusion of elegance. I straightened my slate gray Armani suit. They would never suspect I own more pieces from that label than half the room combined. "Let them settle in," I murmured. "This will be entertaining." In the grand ballroom, champagne glasses chimed and self-congratulations floated through the air. Charlotte bragged beside the central fountain, recounting how she'd secured the venue. My father circulated among former colleagues, no doubt extolling his stock portfolio. Cousins snapped selfies in front of the Celestia logo, hungry for status validation. At exactly 7:10 in the evening, the hotel manager approached Charlotte. "Miss Whitman," he said, voice polite but firm, "there appears to be an issue with your reservation." Charlotte's smile faltered. "Pardon me? I booked this directly with your corporate office." "Yes, ma'am," the manager replied. "However, the owner left some special instructions for tonight." Charlotte laughed dismissively, waving her manicured hand. "I highly doubt Blake has time to meddle in event details." A hush fell over the room as I stepped forward from the shadows. "Actually," I said calmly, Blake takes great interest in every aspect." Silence descended like velvet. Every head turned toward me, the forgotten cousin who'd once been the family embarrassment, now standing at the entrance of the West Coast's most exclusive resort, clad in bespoke tailoring worth more than Charlotte's entire designer wardrobe. "Elena," my father's voice cracked the stillness. "What are you doing here?" Charlotte snapped. "She told me I couldn't afford to attend," I replied evenly, taking another step forward. "She was afraid I'd embarrass the family." Seething, Charlotte ordered, "This is a private event. Security, please escort her out." "No," I said softly but firmly. "You won't." At that instant, Julian tapped his tablet. The massive LED screen behind the stage flickered on. First appeared the Celestia Resort logo, then bold text. "Owned and operated by Elena Whitman Blake, founder and chief executive officer, Blake Hospitality Group." A collective gasp rippled through the ballroom. Somewhere near the fountain, a fork clattered to the floor. Charlotte's champagne flute slipped from her hand and smashed against the marble. That's not possible," she stammered. "Would you care to see my business card?" I offered sweetly, lifting a sleek black leather case. "Or perhaps the property deed?" I tapped the portfolio with a gentle pat. My father stepped forward, eyes wide and voice trembling. "You own this resort and 20 others?" I nodded. "This one is special. It's where I started back when you said I was wasting my life cleaning hotel rooms. I started with nothing but a name tag and a handful of dreams, hauling luggage and scrubbing floors so I could learn every facet of the hotel business. Now I stand before you as the owner of this resort, and 20 more, proving that your doubts only fueled my rise." Charlotte sneered at my housekeeping uniform. My aunts whispered that I had settled. Cousins cropped me out of family photos as though I didn't exist. All those years, I let their words sink in. "You looked down on me, but you never looked up." I turned to Charlotte. "That tiny motel in Silver Lake you love to mock? That was my prototype, my innovation lab, the very foundation of what this industry now calls the gold standard." Julian stepped forward, handing elegant navy folders to the principal relatives. "These," he announced, "contain the true history of Blake Hospitality Group and tonight's invoice." Charlotte tore open hers, her hands trembling. This is above market, about 40% above." "I call it a family search fee," I said quietly. From the back of the room, Ivy burst out laughing, soon joined by others as the tension cracked. My father's jaw clenched. "Why didn't you ever tell us?" he demanded. I met his gaze. "Would you have believed me?" No one did until that moment of perfect silence spoke volumes. 15 years ago, I continued, voice steady, "you told me no daughter of yours would ever work in a hotel." "Well, you were right about one thing. I don't work in a hotel." I paused, then allowed a small smile. "I own them." Immediately, every digital screen in the ballroom came alive. Panorama after panorama of my resorts flashed across the LED wall, the golden overwater villas in the Maldives, the snow-draped elegance of our Swiss Alpine retreat, the glass-fronted skyscraper property in Dubai, its skyline stretching like a crown. Then I turned back to my family. As for tonight's reunion, I added, your reservation has not been cancelled. You're welcome to stay, and I've arranged a private tour of the property. It's time you all saw what a career in customer service truly looks like. Charlotte stepped forward, her polished composure cracking. Elena, we never intended. I cut her off firmly. Yes, you did. Every snide remark. Every photo I was excluded from. Every time I was treated as staff. My voice rose just a touch. While you were busy preserving status, I was building a legacy. Welcome to the Celestia. A stir ran through the crowd. My team will escort you to your upgraded suites, I said. Then, leaning in towards Charlotte, your room was adjusted at the last minute due to a high-profile booking. You'll be in one of our standard queen rooms. Her face burned crimson. As the family followed staff toward their rooms, some in silence, others whispering nervously, my father stayed behind. I was wrong, he said, voice uncharacteristically soft. I studied him. The man who once belittled my choices now seemed small, uncertain. Yes, I replied quietly. But do you know the best part about owning 21 hotels, Dad? He raised an eyebrow. I have 21 presidential suites, I said. You may choose whichever you like while you figure out how to make things right. A faint smile tugged at his lips. Where did you learn to negotiate like that? Probably the same place I learned real leadership, by starting at the bottom. Something this family never had to do. That night, after private tours and hushed conversations had ended, I stood in my penthouse suite overlooking the San Francisco skyline. Julian entered with a final folder. Tonight's numbers, he said. Your family seems humbled. I laughed. Amazing what a little perspective and a room without a view can do. Are you going to tell them about Paris? Tokyo? He asked. I glanced at the contract on my desk and signed. Not yet, I smiled. Let them remain surprised. The Celestia is only the beginning. If you've enjoyed watching Elena reclaim her power, subscribe, because next chapter, the world grows even larger, and my family still has lessons to learn. Let's save something for next year's reunion, I murmured to no one but the city lights below. Every smart hotelier knows repeat guests are the best kind. I pressed my reflection against the floor-to-ceiling window. My journey from scrubbing baseboards to signing international development deals had been neither easy nor swift, but it was worth every step. Success, I realized, isn't about vengeance. It isn't about proving your family wrong, it's about proving yourself right. And sometimes the sweetest revenge isn't cold at all. It's warm, luxurious, served with a rooftop breakfast and a view that steals your breath away. There is power in simplicity, more than in money, property, or prestige, and in being seen at last for who you truly are, not the help, not the outsider, not the family joke, but Elena Blake, the woman who built something real. Looking out at the Celestia's glowing sign against the night sky, I felt calm, complete, filled with purpose. Tomorrow will begin the next chapter in the Whitman family saga, not one born of old wealth or empty pride, but of earned success. Every great hotel knows the secret. It's not merely offering a bed, it's crafting an experience people never forget. Tonight, my family will remember.